In the previous videos, we saw how you can add and manage items. If you run a Zabbix agent on your computer, you will get access to a lot of common system parameters. But you may come across cases where you have very special needs and want to monitor a parameter that the Zabbix agent does not know about. That's what we will cover in this video. Assume that you want to monitor the number of files in a given directory. The Zabbix agent does not provide any item that would help us here. On a Linux system, you can get a list of files using the find command. I use find/etc-typef to find all files in the etc directory. Every output line contains the name of one file, so if we count the number of lines, we know how many files there are. So I add pipe wc for word count -l to count the lines, and we see that there are 1922 files in here. Now that we have a working shell command, we need to tell the Zabbix agent how to do that. Edit the agent's configuration file. At the end of the file, you will find examples of so-called user parameters. You can either add such a line in this file or put your custom commands in an extra file in the zabbix_agent_d.conf.d directory. Separating your commands from the configuration file is usually a good idea because you can distribute these extra files to all of your servers. So let's create a file called myitems.conf there and add a definition of a new user parameter. Let's call it files_in_directory. The syntax is pretty easy. User parameter equals files_in_directory, comma, and our shell command. Don't forget to restart the Zabbix agent so we can pick up your change. We would now add such an item in the Zabbix web interface, but I recommend to use the Zabbix get command to test the command first. Zabbix_get-s for the system, -k with a key of the item called files in directory. Apparently the item is working. The reason it returns a lower value than 1922 is that the Zabbix agent is not running as root and does not have access to all files in etc. So the number of files it found is lower. If you're required to run a certain command as root, you could use sudo. But this item is not very flexible yet. It only counts files in /etc. It would be much better if we could pass a parameter so Zabbix knew where to count files. Let's edit the file again. If you're using parameters, you need to add brackets and an asterisk right after the key of the item. And instead of /etc, we use $1 as a placeholder. So the first parameter we pass along an item is used as $1. You could also use multiple parameters if you want. Let's restart the Zabbix agent. And now we can use parameters with Zabbix get. -k files and directory, and we add the parameter in brackets. It's important to use quotes here, or else the brackets would be expanded in your shell and the command would fail. We get 388 files in var log. Very nice. We can use this command with any parameter. Now that we know the new item is working, we can add it in the web interface. I go to Configuration, Hosts, the items of this host, and create a new item. The name is number of files in $1. This will avoid redundancy. The $1 here will be replaced by the first parameter I will use as an item key. The type is Zabbix agent, and the key is files in directory brackets var log. You see that the syntax here is exactly the same as when using Zabbix get. The units are files, and as an application I choose File System. Now I save this item. I go to Monitoring Latest Data and choose the File System, and after a minute we get the first values from our own item. And as you see, the $1 in the name description has been replaced by varlog2. That concludes this video. You have learned how to add your own kinds of items by leveraging the user parameter feature of the Zabbix agent. You have tested the functionality using the Zabbix get command and finally added such a new item to a host using the web interface.